easier and more convenient. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It's still going to be bloody hard, because when you're in a deficit, it's tough. It's really, really tough, and you're going against what your body's trying to do. You're trying to get lean, but we were put in this world to survive, not to look good naked. And that's what you need to understand, is whatever you try and do to get in shape is going to be hard. Something that sprung to mind last night was this. Is the fitness industry creating false, unrealistic expectations as to what it actually takes to become lean? Oh, Jesus. But let's get one thing straight. Whilst I'm waiting for my vlog to render, I just want to make one thing clear. Just because you skip a meal doesn't mean that your body's going to go into survival mode or starvation mode and stop losing body fat and start eating its own muscle. No, you don't know the meaning of starving. You will never ever be starving, because if you're watching this, you're either from the UK, Ireland, or America. You are never going to be starving, because food is always going to be widely available to you. You just sometimes get a little bit hungry. And by skipping a meal, it's not going to put you into starvation mode or whatever bullshit that you think, because you're not. Never, ever. That's not going to happen. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that. So no, stop saying that, please, because it's bloody stupid. Done. So off to the gym, and let's get to it. Is the fitness industry giving us sort of false expectations and unrealistic expectations as to how sort of difficult it is to get lean? And the answer is, it depends. It totally depends as to how lean you really want to get, because bodybuilding lean and physique stage lean is completely different to just looking good on a beach lean, because they're both, don't get me wrong, they both require hard work, but they're completely different things, and they require completely different mindsets, because getting stage lean is a lot harder mentally and physically than what just getting lean for the beach is. So it totally depends which one you're on about. It also totally depends on who you let influence you and what you see on social media. But there's a lot of people now who put things up like, you know, oh, it's easy and shit like that, and it doesn't take much. Some fitness professionals who take the piss out of some people, myself included, I've been guilty of doing this, of saying things like, you know, dedication and sort of motivation, and I can't remember, you know those hashtags where, you know, people say stupid stuff like, oh, you got to be dedicated. And to an extent, you do have to be dedicated. I mean, you don't get into shape by not being dedicated. So some people put up like fake sort of expectations in that sense, where they take the piss out of these people, saying sort of shit like, you don't have to be dedicated and stuff, but in reality you actually do, and you have to put in the work, and you have to meal prep, and you have to turn up to training. And you know, don't get me wrong, some people do take it to the extreme where they say shit like, oh, I don't know, but you know those things that I take the piss out of on Instagram and all that jazz. But that's the thing, you do have to put the work in. But there's a massive difference between doing what's needed and doing stupid shit like going to failure every single session and shit like that. There's a lot of people out there saying to do the bare minimum, but I think people are getting the wrong end of the stick with that. I mean, by saying doing the bare minimum, you're still training hard, but you're doing the bare minimum to get the best results. For example, some people will say you have to eat and prepare 6-7 small meals a day, but in reality you don't. There's no evidence suggesting that eating 6 to 8 small meals a day is more beneficial with regards to fat loss than eating 3 or 4. What matters is the calories at the end of the day, and that's what people mean by doing the bare minimum. So obviously you're cooking 3 meals rather than 8, and obviously that's going to be a lot easier than cooking 8. So that's what people mean by that. It doesn't mean not doing anything and eating loads of junk and shit like that, and I think that's what people are getting confused about. If you are sort of know, thinking that this whole thing's going to be easy, whether that's just getting lean for the beach, and you've got that perception from someone on Instagram, or someone who uses flexible dieting, and you think that it's going to be easy, then it's not. All flexible dieting does is it makes it easier and more convenient. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It's still going to be bloody hard, because when you're in a deficit, it's tough. It's really, really tough, and you're going against what your body's trying to do. You're trying to get lean, but we were put in this world to survive, not to look good naked. And that's what you need to understand, is whatever you try and do to get in shape is going to be hard. So if anyone, if you read on social media that it's going to be easy, it's not. It really, really isn't. So like I mentioned earlier, it depends as to who you let influence you in this world we call fitness. If you follow guys who say shit like, oh, this is easy, blah, 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 then you're going to think it's easy, and then when it comes to it, you're always going to fail. Whereas if you follow honest guys who actually tell you what it actually takes with a no bullshit approach, then you're going to go in with that mentality, knowing that it is going to be hard to get into shape, because it is. You will have to make sacrifices, as much as I hate that word. You will have to live without the finer things for a brief moment in time, such as not going out with your friends maybe as much, not going out with your other half of food. You will have to prep 80% of your food. Even if you are a flexible dieter, you will still have to give up some things, okay? It makes it easier, but that still doesn't mean that it's easy. Flexible dieting, I mean, with that. So you just have to be careful as to who you let influence you and who you follow, because it is hard, it really, really is, but it's only for a brief moment, obviously depending as to how much body fat you're holding on to. It's only for a brief moment, and you only have to give things up for a while, because that's the hardest part. The first time you try is always going to be the hardest, and it's the toughest because you've never done it before, and you'll probably do silly things along the way unless you hire a coach. And as soon as you do get down to a level of body fat that you're happy with, it then becomes all about maintaining it. And again, if you've got a good coach behind you, he or she will tell you exactly how you can maintain that level of leanness that you've achieved without going back to square one again. So that's the hard part, is getting down to it, and then it's all about maintaining it. And then obviously if you want to build on that, then so be it, and build on it. But it takes time, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, it takes a lot of the sort of shitty words that I always take a piss out of, like, I can't remember that off the top of my head now, but words like that. And as soon as you get there, it's a brilliant feeling, but it's tough. And that's what I wanted to get out today, was that it is tough. And if you think it's going to be easy, then you're losing the battle, because it's not going to be. A lot of it's up here. And if you can get it right up here, then that's, I'd say, 65% of the battle done. Especially with regards to fat loss. So that's it from me. I'm going to call it a night now. Tomorrow's going to be a good one. Good vlog tomorrow lined up. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's going to be good. Speak to you all tomorrow.